Zionist activity in Iraq, the most robust and ancient community in Jewish history after our exile from the Holy Land was the Jewish community of Iraq. Orthodox Jews know it as Bavel. That glorious history came to an abrupt end because of the conflict triggered by Zionism. The Iraqi community began over 2,000 years ago by the prophet Yirmiyahu, Jeremiah. It was that community that built the massive centers of Torah, Pumbedisa, Nahardar, Surah, on and about the banks of the Euphrates and Tigris rivers. But with the advent of Zionism and the animosity it created between the Arabs and the Zionists who succeeded at portraying themselves as representatives of all Jews, thousands of years of Jewish history suddenly came to an abrupt end. The illustrious Jewish community of Bavel survived for centuries, but it wasn't able to survive Zionism. But the truth is, if you delve deeper into it, you'll find out that what destroyed the Jewish community in Iraq was more than just Arab opposition. In April 1949, a Mossad agent presented to his superiors an idea to get the Jews from Iraq to move to Israel. His idea was throw bombs into cafes frequented by Jews and then spread flyers urging the Jews to move to Israel. They claimed they turned down his suggestion. That was April 1949. But on April 1950, at 9:15 p.m., a grenade was thrown into the Al-Baida Cafe, injuring 4 Jews. That night, flyers were distributed in the Jewish neighborhoods of Baghdad, calling on, quote, the Jews, all the tribe of Zion living in Babylon, to hurry and leave Iraq. The very next day, many Jews, most of them poor with nothing to lose, jammed up immigration offices to renounce their Iraqi citizenship and apply for immigration to Israel. They were so scared, and so many applied, that the police had to open registration offices inside Jewish schools and synagogues. Additional grenade and bomb attacks on Jewish targets followed repeatedly for about a year. In most cases, there were injuries, but no deaths. Unfortunately, that wasn't true all the time. On January 1951, an attack on the Masuda Shem Tov synagogue killed 3, other accounts say 4 Jews. The investigating authorities in Iraq arrested 28 Jews and 9 Arabs. Some of them were accused of weapons possession and others of bombings. 2 members of the Zionist Iraqi underground, Shalom Salah and Yosef Basri, were found guilty of the bombings and sentenced to death. Another one was sentenced to life in prison. 17 others, Zionists, received long prison sentences. The Iraqi government, I know people are going to say, how can we trust the Iraqi government? But they invited members of other countries to attend the trials. The American military, Cash, found the verdict just. There's a book called Ropes of Sand, America's Failure in the Middle East, by Wilbur Crane Everland, a CIA station chief. He writes that there, the British embassy in Baghdad told London that the most plausible theory about these attacks is that certain Jews tried by throwing bombs at buildings to focus the attention of the Israeli government on the plight of Jews in Iraq so that they would keep the airlift moving quickly and to induce well-to-do Jews who decided to remain in Iraq to change their mind and to emigrate to Israel. This Wilbur Everland, he said his view was, quote, in an attempt to portray the Iraqis as anti-American and to terrorize the Jews, the Zionists planted bombs in the U.S. Information Service Library and in synagogues, and soon leaflets began to appear urging Jews to flee to Israel. Although the Iraqi police, this is still from Everland, later provided our embassy with evidence to show that the synagogue and library bombings, as well as the anti-Jewish and anti-America leaflet campaigns, had been the work of a Zionist underground organization, most of the world still believes reports that Arab terrorism had motivated the flight of the Iraqi Jews, who the Zionists had quote-unquote rescued, really just in order to increase Israel's population, end quote. Most of the world believed it was Arab terrorism, but the truth is, it was Zionists trying to herd the Jews into Israel, and the Zionists took on the role of rescuers.